Apple showed off a bunch of new products, from the iPhone 13 and Apple Watch 7 to the upgraded MacBook Pros and AirPods 3. But, as expected, we haven't got a glimpse of a foldable iPhone in 2021. Rumors from display analyst Ross Young say we won't see the foldable iPhone, said to be called the iPhone Flip, until 2023 at the earliest, so it isn't a surprise it didn't make an appearance at Apple's September or October events. Still, that hasn't stopped the buzz about the possibility of a foldable iPhone. While competitors have released various foldable handsets, Samsung's bendy Galaxy Fold, Z Fold 2 and Z Fold 3, and clamshell Galaxy Z Flip and Z Flip 3, here's how Samsung's foldable phones compare, and the reboot of the Motorola Razr, to name a few. Apple has been slower to market. This may be a smart move, since existing foldables have been met with mixed reviews. We've been following reports of a foldable iPhone for years. Way back in 2017, it was predicted that a foldable iPhone could be coming in the futuristic-sounding year 2020. Obviously, that didn't happen. Analysts and leakers have been kicking the release date down the road ever since, and rumors and wish lists have simmered. Here's everything we know so far. Release date. The iPhone Flip launch is a moving target. It's no secret Apple has its sights set on a foldable iPhone. The company has been registering patents for foldable mechanisms and devices for almost a decade now with no launch date in sight. The question is whether any of them will ever see the light of day, and if so, when. Early rumors pointed to 2021 as a potential target date, but as we approach the end of the year, that seems unlikely. A report from longtime Apple analyst Ming-Chi Kuo, via MacRumors, suggests 2023 might be more realistic, if it ever happens. According to Kuo, Apple still needs to figure out technology and mass production issues before bringing a device like this to market, hence the 2-year wait. Read more. Top foldable phones for 2021. Speculation from Bloomberg's Mark Gurman aligns with Kuo's predictions. In his Power On newsletter, Gurman says that the foldable iPhone may not arrive for another 2 to 3 years. More recent rumors from Young say a foldable iPhone is expected in 2023 at the earliest, but it's more likely to arrive in 2024. Design. What will the foldable iPhone look like? The 2023 timeline would match up with a report from Bloomberg earlier this year that indicated Apple already has a working prototype of a foldable iPhone display. While it's not yet a working model, it's a step up from a patent which, until then, was all we had seen. Apple seems to have taken out every patent under the sun when it comes to foldable displays, including an origami-style folding display, a flip-up display and even a wraparound display. And while we don't know which one will make the final cut, both Kuo and Bloomberg seem to agree that the current prototype is more of a traditional fold-out design that would open up to a 7.5 or 8-inch main display. Unlike Microsoft's Surface Duo, which has the hinges on the exterior, Apple's would have one continuous display with a hidden hinge mechanism like the Galaxy Fold. However, Apple leaker John Prosser reported in early 2021 that the iPhone Flip will likely use a clamshell design and come in several fun colors. Between the flashy purple iPhone 12, the new blue and pink option for the iPhone 13, an array of fun colors for Apple's first foldable device is definitely a possibility. YouTuber Concepts iPhone also gave us a glimpse into what the iPhone Flip could look with concept art of the foldable iPhone in the colors blue, red, gold and green. Roadblocks. What still stands in Apple's way? While Samsung and others have been testing the waters, Apple has been learning from the pain points of their foldable devices and figuring out how they'd be used. One of these pain points, the crease. A lot of the current cover materials, including the glass and plastic mix that Samsung uses for the Z Fold and Z Flip, show a visible crease when folded out to full screen. To avoid it, Apple would likely have to wait for Corning, Apple's glass provider, to create some kind of bendable version of its ceramic shield screen. The company is already working on a bendable glass, but hasn't announced a launch date for it. Cost. Foldable phones don't come cheap. Price is another major problem for these types of devices. Although Samsung lowered the price for its most recent foldable phones, its previous model, the Fold 2, cost $2,000, which is over twice the price of Samsung's other flagship phones. And, a foldable iPhone wouldn't be any cheaper. Apple's foldable needs to be in line with current foldable and non-foldable models to be able to compete against other brands and entice iPhone users to ditch their single-screen devices and pay more for a foldable. A report in April found that half of American consumers are interested in buying a foldable phone, though Apple customers are slightly less willing to make the leap than Samsung or LG users. At payments this year? It's likely. Up to 92% of families with children will qualify for the money starting July 15. But if you get payments this year, will that make tax time more costly next year when you file your federal income tax? If you're eligible for the child tax credit this year, you'll automatically receive the first half of your advance payments in monthly installments beginning July 15. The remainder of your money will come when you send in your federal tax form in 2022. But it's not quite that simple, because you'll need to do some math when you file your taxes in 2022 to see if you received too much or too little. We'll explain what you need to know about how the child tax credit payments may affect your taxes in 2022 and what you'll need to do when you file next tax season. For more, here's what to do if you aren't normally required to file a tax return, 3 ways to know if you qualify for the child tax credit and how to quickly estimate how much money you could get in all, now that the portals are open. Will I need to pay taxes next year on my child tax credit payments? The short answer is no, but there are some financial details you still need to know. Child tax credit checks don't count as income, so you won't have to pay income taxes on the payments, Mark Yeager, Vice President of Tax Operations at TaxAct, told CNET. The IRS refers to these checks as advance payments ahead of 2021 tax season. That means you're simply getting the payments sooner rather than waiting to receive that money when you file, Yeager said. While you won't pay taxes in 2022 on the payments you receive this year, that doesn't mean you won't need to repay the IRS some part of the advance payment when you file your income tax return in 2022. Read on for what you'll need to do next year when you file. Will I need to report my 2021 payments on my 2022 income tax return? Yes. Next year in January, the IRS intends to send families that received child tax credit payments a letter with the total amount of money they got in 2021. Hold on to this notice, which the IRS is calling Letter 6419. You'll need information from it when you file your 2021 tax return during tax season in 2022. This is not the same letter the IRS is sending this year on the payments. To make sure the IRS has your most recent mailing address, you'll be able to update it through the Child Tax Credit Update portal later this year, the IRS said. You can also change your address through the Postal Service. Do I have to pay back any child tax credit money I got? Maybe. Unless you unenroll, or opt out, of the monthly child tax credit payments, you'll get half of your estimated amount this year from the IRS. Foregoing the monthly payments means you'd get your share in one big check instead of 7 smaller ones, 6 in 2021 and 1 in 2022. No matter how you get your money, if for whatever reason you wind up getting paid more than you actually qualify for, you may need to repay some of the money. You'll use information from the letter the IRS sends next January to calculate the difference when you file your tax return in 2022. However, the IRS will use what it calls repayment protection, so that lower-income families won't be on the hook to repay money. Most people won't need to repay the IRS, Allison Flores, principal researcher from the Tax Institute at H&R Block, told CNET. There is a repayment safety net for some people, Flores said, a protection for lower-income taxpayers that will shield a majority of people who claim the child tax credit. If your adjusted gross income, or AGI, for 2021 is at or below a set income level, you likely won't owe the IRS anything, even if you received more child tax credit money than you technically should have. Above this income level, the amount you need to repay increases, or phases in, until you owe a full repayment above a set cap. The letter the IRS sends you in January will help you determine if you received an overpayment and if you need to repay all or part of the advance payments. The IRS will estimate your payments using the most recent information it has on hand for you, using either your 2019 or 2020 tax return. To reduce the chance you receive an overpayment this year, update the IRS with your current family status using the Child Tax Credit portal later this year and continue to keep the IRS up to date with family changes through the end of 2021. Could I get more child tax credit money in 2022 when you file your tax return? Yes. After you compare the information on the letter the IRS sends you in January 2022 with what you are eligible for, you may discover you are due more than you received in advance payments, based on your actual 2021 income. If that is your case, you can claim the remaining amount of your child tax credit when you file your return. What if I opt out of the advance payments? Now that the child tax credit portals are open, you'll be able to unenroll from the monthly payments and instead claim your child tax credit when you file in 2022. Will the child tax credit affect other federal benefits you receive? According to the IRS, no. Because the advance child tax credit payments don't count as income, federal, state or local agencies can't use the amount when determining if you or your family is eligible for other benefits or assistance. For more financial benefits this year, here's how to save money on childcare costs and healthcare expenses. November's payment now out, the IRS is down to one payment left this year, coming in December. And while for many, the checks and direct deposits have arrived on time each month, some parents are still waiting to get payments from previous months and others are receiving adjusted amounts if they didn't receive some of the money earlier this year. On top of that, the IRS has faced several problems with payments, including glitches and delayed changes to the IRS update portal. Parents still can't update outdated IRS information, like if their number of dependents has changed. The tax agency hasn't